Dad pod.
This is a video thing as well.
Does have a name?
Podcast.
Midlife crisis.
Paddy Daddy.
Midlife crisis.
Dadcast.
That's not bad, actually, yeah.
All right. You're very welcome along to episode 44, one for every year that Adrian Barry has been on this planet. Dave, how are you?
Well, very well. Are you that old?
Adrian, how are you?
But you don't be listening. Like, the one, Dave, come on now. The one bit of thing that I give you credit for is not being gullible.
Hang on, it's not an outrageous suggestion that you've been on this planet for 44 years.
Totally viable.
Ridiculous
nonsense. You'd be well preserved. The thing to do is now say you're 44 and you're 44 for the rest of the decade.
Do you know what the crazy thing about all this is? Of anybody in this building, he's actually seen my passport. Like, do you know what I mean?
Doesn't necessarily mean he's memorised it either.
But you can be certain, given that he thinks that I'm older than him, he has. You can be absolutely certain.
Yeah,
the first thing he did was
look to 77. I mean, it's
no, that's just
76
not
comes
true.
before 77.
You're 44 next year.
That's not true. I'm 43 next year, Dave.
Okay. All right. Don't need to get so defensive about it.
How was Halloween? Happy Halloween. We're a week late.
It's good.
Yeah, it was interesting. We did the dressing up and the trick or treat. And
What did you dress up as?
well, I just kind of wore black everything and then a big scary mask on me. It wasn't much effort put into it.
I got a costume in Japan. I was peas in a pod. Peas to meet you was the... And then you put it on for 3 minutes and you realise, this is polystyrene. I am sweating already.
Yeah.
Plus, your peripheral vision with any sort of a mask is
great.
compromised in a big way. So I couldn't see. My youngest is only like 2 foot tall. So I couldn't see him as long as I had the mask on. So we were 50 yards into our stroll.
Is what you're saying.
I just had to go, right, I had this, he could be anywhere. And it's dark and there's like hundreds of people around. So that was the end of the mask wearing process.
You went just around the local area?
Yeah, just around the estate
Door
and
to
then out
door?
to a fireworks display.
Oh, all right.
What was wrong with the kids of today? Like, they were all scared of the fireworks display.
Your kids?
Yeah, and other people's kids as well, crying, like, oh, I want to go home, and it's too loud and they're too noisy. What is your problem? They're fireworks. They're amazing.
Did you say that?
Yes.
And what was the response?
Oh.
I want to go home.
You're scaring me now, Dad. I want to go home.
Now, maybe I'm giving myself far too much credit from when I was at that age, and if I'd been brought to a fireworks display at the age of 5, would I have been just as scared? I possibly was. I don't have any memory of it.
Were there fireworks when you were 5?
No, probably not. Not organised like county council firework displays.
Oh, was there organised?
Oh, yeah.
County council? And the
Yeah, with like the Dublin City Fire Brigade on site and
right.
DJ and everything. It's class.
Where was that?
It was an estate just over from ours.
Okay.
And like loads of people in the area there. It was great. We were at it last year as well. It's really
What
good.
time? Like 6, 7? 6.
So
is
like we
perfect
kind of
time.
hit the
Dark.
streets at 5.
Yeah.
Kind of fill the bags for an hour and then.
Trick-or-treating at 5.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's dark.
Oof. It's very early.
Well, I think 5 to 6 is generally
We
the
missed
hour
a lot
now.
of houses because everybody was out.
Yeah.
So we were knocking on doors and
Okay.
we were there. And the people were still knocking on our doors until about 8, but then that was the end of it. It started to rain.
We were
at
out
that
of grub
stage,
by 6:30. Nicky stayed back to dish out the goodies. And we had like 4, I don't know, certainly 2 or 3 huge bowls of stuff. They were gone within an hour.
Yeah.
And what do you say? Were people still coming? Do you just not answer the door when you're in
No, God, I hope my boys aren't listening to this. But I started
there? Oh, steal theirs.
stealing
Definitely.
their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%. What are you going to do with all that
I
amount
know,
of
there's
sweets?
2 bags full of crap on the
That's too
ground
much.
in the hallway. And I shall be going through them all when I get home after this, before they get home from creche.
I'm surprised you didn't bring it into the office to get rid of it. That was...
Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
yeah.
Oh, like some of this is absolute rubbish.
That's an excellent idea.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm... There'll be loads now in the next couple of days. It'll start to
But all
filter
the,
in. And then,
do you know what I found? The little fella pulls out because he wanted to munch his way through the trick-or-treating hour.
Good
which was
idea. It's like a dad can't stop me here. You can't keep an eye on
Yeah.
what I'm...
Well, it was a problem because I was in my mum's yesterday afternoon and she cooked up a really nutritious dinner for them, and I absolutely horsed it into the 2 of them because it was only 3 o'clock. I said, "Grand, look, you can have all the crap you want tonight as long as you've had a really good meal."
Yeah.
But sure, then 2 hours after demolishing a massive bowl of shepherd's pie, he's taking all this stuff in, and what does that lead to? A bloated stomach, which then leads to everything coming back up.
Oh.
Oh, which direction?
What do you mean?
Puked.
Oh, everything. Emptied his
Oh,
tummy into the
crap.
toilet at about 7.
Oh, so you're back home, at least it wasn't on the street.
We were in the neighbours, but
Oh! no.
Yeah, but it was like
made it to the
we'd
Jacks?
seen it coming. We knew it was coming. This is
Okay.
the younger fella.
Right.
We'd seen it coming, so there was no mess.
Okay.
But I was looking at him going, and it
He
was
just went pale.
yeah, and Nicky, reached him into the Jacks and we got the job done before there was any damage done to the tiles, the walls, and
You need to
everything.
get into yourself to get sick.
Yeah, but it was on top of a massive bowl of shepherd's pie.
That's like saying it was the bag of chips that did it on the own. It was
But
the,
my problem was, I said, did the dinner and all come up? She was like, yeah, everything. I was going, I made such an effort to get it all into him.
Yeah.
Which was obviously a mistake in hindsight. But no, we had a lovely evening, and there's a couple of bags worth stuff. But now this morning, of course, they refused to have any of the remaining face paint removed.
Yeah.
So they
it's
got
all
in
over
with
the
like
place.
green and purple. Dylan was the Joker, so he's still got all red, white, and black stuff all over his face, and his hair is still green. And he wanted to wear the jacket that we got him to be the Joker into.
Are you going to let him see the? I was going to say River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix movie.
No, I haven't seen it myself even, but I've heard it's quite dark. But that was the photo we had up all week as we were trying to figure out what way the face paint should look and what way the hair should look.
Very good.
And he's obviously seen it on the beside the buses now for weeks.
Of course, yeah.
That's where he got it from. That's why he wanted to do it. So we were like, well, do you want to be the Heath Ledger Joker or do you want to be the Joaquin Phoenix Joker? And we went recency bias one out.
What did you dress up as, Adrian?
I dressed up in two little numbers that I picked up in deals on the way home yesterday evening.
Two little numbers.
One number being a very scary dicky bow. It's a black dicky bow with like blood on it. And the other one was like a half Frankenstein mask. Do you know what? There was like, I have a little bit of, I didn't really realise it until yesterday because this is the first time we've been out trick-or-treating. The first time I've been trick-or-treating since I was whatever, 18 or 19, whatever age you say you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Who knows what goes on in that
Second time today. Come on.
Again, that would not surprise me.
Do you remember the masks? Maybe the only thing you used to dress up as when you were a kid. It was a plastic mask.
A plastic mask that made you sweat.
But the mask had this like tiny little air hole for a mouth.
Yeah.
Like that you would. There was no possibility other than to sweat profusely, like be extremely warm. And the condensation, it'd be cold, so your breath would come out. The condensation would be the inside, you'd be soaking wet. So anyway, the shop that I was in only had a couple of those things, and then like a half, which I was definitely not getting, and a half Frankenstein mask. They were all for kids as well. And I was looking at the elastic thing in the end. Do you remember the elastic on those masks?
Yeah.
Used to whip off and like almost take you'd lose your eyesight, like.
In a black bin liner.
In a black bin liner. So there was like a half Frankenstein mask that looked as if the thing was somewhat sturdy and would actually fit an adult head. So that was me.
What did your kids dress up as?
The younger one is nothing because she's sick at the minute and we couldn't. There was like a
We're bringing her
bird outfit that she was going to get into. No, she came out. I think the fresh air seems to be good for her. But Con was dressed up as an airplane.
Right.
Biggles hat and the little glasses and then an airplane, actual airplane that you can hop into that he got in Dunn's for 20 quid. I can highly recommend it. It was great. And he's been wearing it for like the last 2 weeks. He will wear it probably for another 2 months.
You need to get your wear out of it.
Loves it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it. But and like was going around, obviously, like there was a great actually vibe around where we were as well. There was like hundreds of people out all going around the houses. Yeah. Great chance to chat to the neighbours and all that jazz. But yeah, he was going around to that and absolutely loving it. And I'd say he'll be torn out of it, you know.
So Halloween was a success across the board.
Yeah, I think so.
I think Nathan spent it in hospital with one of his kids, so you can tell us that story next week.
Not the night you want to be heading into Crumlin, all right?
No, he said it was carnage.
What so should you give them because we didn't give them any sweets as we were out and about. Should we do that? Should you give them a few bits here and there or wait till they come home and...
Well, they're going to go mental as soon as they get them, so...
Yeah, and when they get home, they're probably closer to bedtime as well. And we put somewhat of a limit on it.
What's the limit? Like how many pieces of sweets?
Well, the first thing the 2-year-old reached into the bag and he pulled out a chocolate eclair. And I'm going, who has put a chocolate eclair into a bag?
Like a Cadbury's...
Yeah, like his teeth are going to come out with it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way a 2-year-old is capable of eating that. If anything, he might die.
He could choke on it as well.
No,
so,
like,
best case scenario, broken teeth.
People like we had like a big box of sweets, and so people would come and take stuff out of it. Like that could have been a 2-year-old getting like a hard-boiled sweet, or that could have been a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but
like I'm assuming that I'm not the guardian of that bag. When the kid takes the sweet, the kid...
True, but I don't understand why someone would be putting that into a trick-or-treating bag. I did eat it, yes. But then he had a lolly, then he had a couple of fun-sized Twixes, and then he had some kind of a chocolate lolly and a stick, and then he tends to eat the first 2 crisps and then just hand the bag over to me. And then we went into the neighbour's house. They had a dinner, and he had something else in there, and then it all came shooting back up.
Right.
Then, of course, it was like the vomitorium back in Roman times.
It was happy days.
Absolutely flying then. He was like, right, let's go again, guys. Roll them up. And I was like, absolutely, under no circumstances are you eating anything again tonight. So he went to bed with a terribly empty stomach, God love him. But
6 or 7 bits then by the sounds of it.
I would say 6 or 7 bits, and the other guy had something similar as well. And then I just took two bags off them, and I said, that's the end of it. And then this morning, they got down the stairs and they picked the bag up and started rummaging through it again. I said, no way. Absolutely no way.
I hid them away. I put the bags away last night because I knew the first thing that he came down this morning, he will be gunning for that bag. So the fact that he didn't see it, he's probably half forgotten about it.
Yeah.
So, like, I do, when we were kids, we used to just come home and empty the bag onto the TV room floor and just
Go for it.
absolutely horse them in.
I know, Mickey.
Like-
Until you compute.
I felt a bit
Yeah.
sick last night. I had a lot of sweets last night. I felt a bit sick myself.
We would have been told, this does not continue until tomorrow. So you need to make hay.
Yeah.
Chickadees are surprisingly good. I've found. I always hated them when I was younger.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Oh, they're great.
Potato snacks.
Oh, I love
I
them.
used to love them.
Absolutely
as a
love
kid,
them.
yeah.
13 grams in the packets now. You lift it and it basically floats. You're like, oh look,
There's about 6 crisps in there.
exactly. Like, I worked my way through multiple packs, and wheelies also good.
Oh, wheelies are
Still
great.
good.
Yeah, all that stuff is it's full of nutrition.
I'm more of a refresher bars and
Oh, there were some of those
Stingers
as well.
and all those.
Stingers,
Remember
there were
Stingers?
Again, there were stingers for the kids. You're like, these teeth aren't ready to come out.
Oh, I'd be eating them.
So
pretty much.
They are nuclear though.
Yeah.
Nuclear coloured.
Oh,
nuclear
listen.
powered.
Do you remember when they came out first? And it was like, what are these things? Like they deliberately, like there was one of the bars, it wasn't either the ones we've mentioned, but it was like a purple bar with all these little, like, space rocks in it. Wham bar. What the fuck was that? Honestly. Like, gee, imagine a pair. Imagine you're a kid now coming home with that. You'd be like, here.
No.
Like, you would leave teeth in the bar behind you.
Your parents are looking at the ingredients and they're like, there's not enough room on the wrapper for all the E numbers on them.
My parents were delighted with
God,
the
but
shop.
Wham
They were
bars
like-
they were seriously tasty though.
Correspondence from Joe, not my real name, as you probably gathered. Lads, love the show. I've listened to every episode and have introduced at least 10,000 listeners to the show. Good man, Joe.
At least.
I can't remember you covering the topic of stay-at-home dads. I'm thinking of changing to a 3-day week and minding my kid, under 1-year-old, for the other 2 days. Financially, it makes little difference to us. What do you think, or what is your experience? I don't know if I will love it or go crazy. We are thinking about doing it for 6 months and then sending him back to the creche when he's walking, etc. Thanks, guys. Love the show. Joe.
Do it.
You're a stay-at-home dad, basically,
Yeah.
in this context.
Yeah, I would be, yeah. Since I left Off the Wall Towers in a permanent capacity, I would have, certainly the last 12 months now, I've been pretty much stay-at-home dad. For certain periods of the year, absolutely a stay-at-home
And
dad.
then other periods they're very busy. Well, not a million miles away from
No,
this.
like I absolutely love it, but it has its, downsides as well. Now we still have creche on the go because, as we've discussed before, the way the creche system works, you either have your place or you don't. It's not like you're not picking off an a la carte menu in terms of days that you can and can't have them in. So
Yeah.
You're paying to have them in. You could choose to have them out, but you're paying to have them in.
exactly.
Yeah.
So because the place has to be retained. So there are days where, and certainly in certain times of the year where, I would be at home and I have nothing to do bar go to the gym or play a bit of golf or meet someone for a coffee, maybe do a little bit of prep work here and there, that I could have them at home, no problem. But for a start, they're better off in creche. Better off playing with people their age as opposed to being home with me getting narky with them and trying to come up with different ways of entertaining them every day, particularly during the summer holidays, which isn't easy. But I would say if financially it makes sense for them, he should absolutely do it because, you'll never regret spending that time with them. It's amazing.
Yeah, you never get that time back either.
Plus, if he's the guy that, I get to bring them to school 4 mornings a week, I get to pick them up most days of the week, and we go to the park 2 or 3 days a week. I bring them swimming at least once a week, and it's, there'll be a lot of dads out there, I'm sure, that would kill for that time with their boys. So I would say do it. There's There's no way he'll regret it, particularly if it's just a couple of days a week that he's the stay-at-home dad. Like.
Yeah, 3 days.
So it's not enough time to get absolutely driven, demented by the situation. In saying that, today is Friday, the final day of the midterm in terms of the weekdays, and I'm looking forward to Monday already. But they're in creche today, so I can't really complain too much. But being a stay-at-home dad is definitely a good thing.
Are they only in creche like 9 to 12? That's
No, they're until 4:15 today.
okay. And are they in 4:15 most days? Is that?
Well, yeah, because they're in 3 days a week, they'd be until 4:15.
Okay.
And then 2 days a week, they're in, if it's a school day, they're until 2. Because there was no point going in, picking one of them up, then having to go home and go back up and get another one. So we just kept one of them back an extra hour so that the two
Would be
pick-up
the same
times
time.
coincide.
Yeah.
So that works for us that way. So they're not quite in full-time care, but I suppose you might maybe 60% care. Then this week there was 2 full days where they've not been in at all. And so we have to come up with stuff to do. So I've been around the houses and, you know, swimming pools and zoos and parks and play centres and football pitches and all the usual stuff.
Yeah. And you enjoy that?
Most of it. Certainly beats being in the house, because you're in the house and cabin fever sets in, they end up watching too much TV, they end up getting annoyed with you for stuff that is beyond your control, and everyone's better off out in the fresh air.
It's true,
even if it's
isn't
just for an hour. Plus it tires them out then and helps them sleep at night. It's great for their heart and their lungs and everything.
Yeah. Win, 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 win.
Although they might not want to be out there. They'd rather be inside. Like,
Watch TV.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can we watch another movie?
No.
Your third movie of the day? This morning, one of them woke up before the other, and because we didn't have to leave that early because we don't have to be in school at a certain time. But I gave one of them my phone so I could go back to sleep for an hour, and I get a text from Kevin Caban at 7:20. Is everything all right? What's up? I'm like, what are you talking about? Got a missed call from you there at 10:07.
Oh.
So then text from 2 of my other friends. You were ringing me this morning. What's up?
Oh, no.
I went through nearly half my bloody phone book there at around
God.
between 6:50 and 7:50
Ooh.
as he was trying to manoeuvre his way around Netflix. But
On your phone.
I forgot what it was. Did you ask me?
You enjoy it?
I do enjoy it. Definitely try it out. It's I could, at the moment, I can't envisage going back to a regular 9 to 5 existence where you don't see them at all from one end of the day to the next. I know that is the way it is for a lot of families, and they make it work. But
Maybe when
I
they go to
felt last
school
year-
full time, like when they're both in school until 3 o'clock every day, you'd be like,
Yeah, that'll be a bit different when you don't have to go and pick them up maybe as early as you might do now, but we'll see what happens further down the line. I don't know, it's like our listener said there, it's not something we've discussed in detail yet. I would be interested to get the views of some other stay-at-home dads out there. How is it? Was it imposed on them? Was it maybe, did they lose their job, or did they jack in the job and decided this was the way they wanted to go? But all in all, kids are better off with other kids than you. Like, they absolutely are. They need to, like today now, they'll be in a creche with 4 or 5 other kids their age having the time of their lives. Far better than spending the day with me. Because I'll spend all day tomorrow and Sunday, well, not Sunday, I'm working, but all day tomorrow with them. But I think if some parents can afford childcare and they're in doubt as to whether, well, would they be better off at home with me? I don't think they are. Because they learn nothing.
And they do. I mean...
Well, what do they learn apart from
they
beating
learn
up
how
at each
to-
other?
They learn how to talk if you're talking to them. They learn how to...
No, I'm talking about when they're 2 and 3 and 4 years old. I'm not talking when they're 18 months.
There's loads of stuff you can do, isn't there? Like,
Yeah, but every day, though.
you would have to be incredibly creative and imaginative and have the time to put into preparing this stuff. But there's definitely stuff you could do. Like, it's
How do they
difficult.
learn to be with other kids?
The difficult thing I would find
Socialisation is definitely important.
100%.
And sharing and
No, definitely. Look at it. That's an argument. That's
learning how to... When they're at home, they'll never learn how to solve an argument in any way other than using their fists. Whereas in creche, they intervene in a far more professional and experienced way.
Yeah.
They can't have the kids just beating up on each other, because otherwise parents will have to get involved and there'll be complaints made and everything. But whereas at home, like, they'll always go with the aggression first. Then they might listen to you if you sit them down. You have to start taking stuff away. But in creche, they learn that, okay, well, he's got that toy for 10 minutes and I can't just walk up there and rip it out of his hands like I would have done if it was my little brother at home. It's so important that they learn that stuff.
Short story, do it. And get in contact again in a couple of months and let us know how you're going.
Yeah, you wanted to read the some of the comments?
We got some comments. I was at a wedding, by the way, in Clare at the weekend, taking a leak at it some hour in the morning.
TMI.
And, didn't think there was too many more people in the Jacks at that time until I heard some lad in the corner, "Oh, you're your man from the podcast." Dadcast listener. And so ensued a fairly long conversation about parenting, which is great. I've said that before, that this has been a great platform for, even outside of talking to you dickheads, to other people who listen to the podcast, or the avenues that it opens up into conversations that you wouldn't actually normally have.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's the case for, if that's not just the case for us, if, you know, listeners are finding that it's opening avenues for them as well. You would like to think that would be the case, right? Like that it's actually
conversations.
opening a conversation. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's quite true or not, but
I think so, yeah. That would happen to me as well. Now I'd be out and someone just wants to talk about being a dad. And it's a conversation you might only have with a friend of yours, definitely not a stranger.
but what I find is talking about this is you're straight into the conversation.
Yeah.
Whereas if this didn't exist, you'd be fanning around the houses for like half an hour, 40 minutes talking about whatever, and then suddenly you find, you know.
I get a lot of men in their 30s and 40s talking to me about vasectomies now.
You become a one-man help centre.
It's very, very quick. It's like, oh, well, they tell me their story about, like,
okay.
Well, it was only Wednesday night, just gone, where I was talking to someone and I said, "How's the family?" "Oh, they're great, yeah." And he said,
move your mic into the middle of your jumper there, Adrian.
he said,
I was
"Yeah."
going to try and do it
Thanks,
quietly.
Enda. Cheers.
Go on,
That's only-
sorry. Yeah.
He said, "I got something done that you have promised us all that you're going to get done." So straight away, obviously a Dadcast listener, straight away talking about,
Here's Mickey.
yeah. So it's
And how was it for him? I mean, obviously that's the important question.
Absolutely
Did it
no problem.
Didn't swell up.
No problem. In pain for a couple of hours, couple of paracetamol. Boom. Job done.
Paracetamol and killing pain never really worked for me. There was definitely like this is a false promise. You know.
Well, it depends how bad
Dave's
the pain is.
Clock is ticking now, so
I'm
must have. Is it 10 months? What's the end? What's the when is?
Next September.
I
has
just
be
have
done
to.
by.
I just.
Well, no, the clock is actually you have.
Easy.
There's an end point for you now, Dave. It's not. There isn't like suddenly this.
Just lazy. You've been telling us about how much free time you have to play golf and drink coffee. All you have to do is Google vasectomy near me, and it's like ding.
Get the laptop out, Dave, and suck in.
What?
The four lads are gas.
Anyway.
Says this reviewer. They bounce off each other well. It's great to have something like this to listen and relate to. Jen, you are my favourite podcast. KUTGW.
Keep up the good work.
I had to Google that.
Did you?
Hadn't a clue. Do you know?
Yeah.
I hadn't a clue.
Well, I didn't know in advance, but I
No, you've worked.
put it to myself. What might those letters stand for?
That's from Knockers 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Okay.
E. Casey has been in touch. Great laugh. Really enjoying listening to these lads. As a new parent, it gives some good insight and is very relatable, but is also very entertaining in its own right.
There you go. I mean,
Relatable.
this is turning into a circle jerk here, Adrian.
And then Jude has something similar. Laugh out loud for every parent.
There you go.
What about Halloween movies this week?
Didn't watch anything. Like the nightmares are real. It's our youngest has decided he doesn't like going to bed. He was an amazing sleeper. He was the one that you'd put in and go, "Oh, we'll check on you when you're asleep." He's like, "Oh, happy days. They're going to check on me. Yeah, it's great." Now he's like, so he starts. Sometimes he's starting the night in our bed.
Right.
As night follows day, every night where he starts the night in our bed, in the middle of the night, he comes in and climbs back in.
How does he, if he starts the night in your bed?
I lift him and put him
Okay.
in. You move him.
So every night now he starts the night in your bed.
Not every night. So it's like random nights.
Okay.
I find the appetite too, because we've something similar going on. The appetite is huge, but the ability when you're just so knackered
No,
to move them, I'm
it's
like, oh.
like you have to be, because we had him in our room for 18 months at one stage, and it was like hell. It was the ruination of our lives.
Like
kicking you awake in the middle of the night, like
flip-flopping left, right and centre. Do all kids do that? Our fella's like
I think
he's like
every
a
kid.
clock.
Yeah, he'll cover every square inch of the bed over the course of the night. That's why beds need to be low down, and we still have a bed guard for the younger fella, which is the greatest thing ever. We got it off a neighbour. The two-sided thing, that one side goes under the mattress and the other side is the wall. Gives it a bit more protection. But the only time one of them would ever start the night in our bed is if the younger guy falls asleep on the couch.
right.
and he's brought up to bed, the older guy will be like, well, I can't go in and have my story read. Best we do that in your bed. And then I'm like, go on, you can fall asleep there, I'll move you when to fall asleep. But that's like once a month that might happen.
Yeah.
And recently the younger fella has, started waking up in the middle of the night and immediately saying, can I get into your bed? And it's just absolutely not happening. Don't get this into your head. This will not be something you'll be allowed to do ever.
I'm on your side. I'm strong about it.
But
there's definitely
it's just such a slippery slope to go down.
What happens, or as your man comes in the middle of the night and like you can hear him getting up, starts to crib a little bit, opens his door, closes his own door, walks into our bedroom and into the bed, and that's it. And like if you try to move him out of there, he'll wake the baby essentially. He will roar the house down. So in that instance, you're just like, man.
You need a gate on the door.
Maybe, but he would. If I put a gate in the door, he's going to roar the house down.
But maybe he's got to roar the house down and wake the baby a couple of times, and then it stops. Because what's the trade-off here? You end up having bad sleep for.
I know, but at least it's
when
sleep.
does it stop?
Oh.
It's not sleep. That's a lie we tell ourselves.
You'll want to be in that bed every night.
There's a big difference between the sleep that you get versus what real sleep is.
He does this thing where he'll push. I need space. He'll be roaring. Yeah, I need space.
Get on bed.
So we'll be on the extremities of the bed, and he's like lengthways across the middle. I need space.
How are
and
you
we'll be
letting this
kicking
happen?
in the head. And then the other night he woke up. He woke up. No, sorry, he was fully asleep. Is the actual point here, and was roaring. Did I say this last week?
No.
Was roaring. I don't want cucumber for breakfast. Was roaring. Like, so you know when you're asleep yourself and you wake up going,
hippies.
I woke up and I was like, while I was asleep, I was like, oh, okay, that's fair enough. And then I woke up, I was like, what's happening? You've never eaten a cucumber. You don't even know what a cucumber is. You've certainly never had it for breakfast.
Right.
Anyway.
That needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
That was because we had the gate on the door from day one.
Right.
And it just meant them leaving was never an option. So if they really want you, they'll just roar until...
Maybe we got a gate, actually. That's not a bad idea. 3 is a bit old to be putting a gate on.
Yeah. I would have thought so.
We didn't need it.
It could be just... How long has he been at that?
A couple of weeks.
Would you not have been worried that they'll start wandering the house at night? And down the stairs? Like our stairs is only 2 metres from...
Oh, they're down the stairs
bedroom.
quite a bit. There's like a constant kind of...
No, I'm talking middle of the night, though.
A bit, and we're like... Come in, what do you want?
Come in.
Yeah.
It's like some randomer knocking on the door. Oh, come in.
The eldest just walks in and tells us what she's come down for, and it's like, I want this, or something's happened, and that's fine. And then she goes back up. Middle child is like, they don't know I'm here. I'm opening the door a little bit. I'm getting away with this. I might be able to sneakily watch the TV around the corner. And the little one is like coming down going, I'm down, I'm free. Oh, what's this? And we're like, get up the stairs. So it was not bad enough that you would ever kind of have to lock them in. But the middle of the night coming in is so like, there are flashbacks to the time when the sleep was bad. Like, that's a bad situation. And it could go on forever.
I need space.
14 doing that.
I'm still going, I need space.
Yeah.
We'll be on the floor.
Yeah, there needs to be a conference at home on that one, because it'll just get worse.
Short-term pain, I guess, is the...
Yeah, so the baby wakes up a couple of nights, 3 nights over.
We're not doing it at the minute anyway. She's sick and it's pain in the hole for everybody, so...
A week and it's
How
over.
close is the baby to where he is, if he's in the bed? Or is the baby in the room?
No, she's in her own room.
So you've just got your own room back to yourselves, and now he's coming in
in the
middle of the night.
6 months, yeah. No, he's been at that for months. He's been at that for, Jesus, it could be...
So on the Halloween movies, they've started watching Ghostbusters this week.
All right,
like that's PG-12. But they love it. Absolutely
back
love
in the
it.
day Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Their new version.
Great movies. Back at the
was it Chevy Chase?
No, Bill Murray and
yeah. What was
Dan Aykroyd, and I never knew the third guy and the other fella, and those two never really seemed to get any of the credits. Because who can name either of the other two?
I know the guy's face.
Dr. Venkman, whoever he's played by his guy, and then what was the other fella?
I don't know.
Anyway, Aykroyd and Murray were the only two that ever got.
Well, they were famous.
Never got the
Bill
credits.
Murray, though. Bill Murray.
Yeah, I've never seen the other two guys in anything else. But
I think one of them was Ferris Bueller's Da, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But
Could
then
be
there's a couple of scenes where like the ghost the ghost in question would be pretty creepy, but and I'm going, well, maybe I shouldn't be like this. Is this not rated PG for a reason?
wrong. Yeah. Well, it was probably PG back in the day, and things have changed. I don't know. I mean, there are definitely people watching stuff in the class that we're like, all right, that's an interesting
Bill Murray was Peter Venkman.
teen drama.
Egon, I think, is the guy I'm thinking of.
Egon was Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis, of course.
He was like going out with the secretary.
Oh,
Harold
yeah.
Ramis. Movies.
So it was
Weaver.
just we said it to someone yesterday, and they were like, "Well, I'm not sure. Ghostbusters, you know, it's rated 12s for a good reason."
But it's fine.
And there's my 5-year-old and soon to be 3-year-old watching it.
Right.
But it didn't bother them at all. They thought like the Marshmallow Man and the big green
Sure,
slimy
it's not-
ghost
it's
faking
not
around the
like- it's
place was
nothing.
hilarious.
But it's nothing.
Slimer, yeah.
It's nothing now like.
No, well, there is a couple. Like there's one scene in the library where there's the ghost of an old lady just reading books, and then she turns around and then suddenly her face contorts into like a demon, and she screams at poor old Dan Aykroyd. And the two lads thought it was gas.
Right.
Until they wake up screaming in the middle of the night,
There you
maybe
go.
some other night.
There you go. And suddenly you're like, they have to come into your bed because there are demons under the bed and there are demons over the bed, and you're like, oh, it's a good move.
Egon's timeline of movies, by the way, was like, you know, big in the 80s, couple of hits in the 90s. He was in Analyse That, it turns out. Anyway, it all comes to a bit of a grinding halt until Ghostbusters 2020.
There you go. He's back.
He's back, baby.
But we like they want to watch the Spider-Man movies. If the older guy definitely wanted to watch the Venom movie when it came out, but I'd seen the trailers and I was like, absolutely no way.
Haven't seen it.
And then myself and my wife watched it.
Where do they hear about it? School,
No, they see the billboards on the bus,
right?
and they know who Venom is because they've watched the cartoons and everything.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I don't know what it is.
But the actual movies, Marvel movies, they're much darker, obviously, would be the case with the Joker movie, which I wouldn't be letting them watch.
Too soon for that.
I have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah,
But the Spider-Man movies they watched.
The original Batman series, I'm sure, will be fine, but it's not like amazing TV, is it? You know the one.
No, but they're just obsessed with
West.
superheroes.
I think when they're kids now and they're used to looking at the production values that goes into all programming from a kid's point of view, and then suddenly you're looking at Ghostbusters, you're like, what the hell is this shit?
No, it's aged really well.
Has it?
Yeah, I've watched both of them in the last 2 days. It really has aged well.
Snaky, uppy, plasticky bits that are now done with like perfect CGI. That
No, there isn't any of that in Ghostbusters.
is there not like all the machinery and stuff is all just all plastic shite that they
I remember
painted white.
it struck me watching it that the machinery and the the little boxes they kick out into the middle of the floor and then the
green stuff
gets sucked down into it. It was all
DK readers telling you what the psychic kinetic energy is. What was the
It was
box?
all
the
brilliantly done.
box that pulls in
Yeah, what's it called?
Don't know.
the ghost sucking box.
Anyway,
That should be taken.
It was all done
that
very
should be
well.
taken out separately.
and the car is deadly, of course,
class
with the
Absolute
siren and
class.
everything. Class.
like an old ambulance or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, or was it a hearse?
I think it was a hearse.
A hearse, is it?
Right. That's the
We've gone
worst,
off topic there a bit.
worst film review ever. Are you done? Is that it? Everybody done?
Yeah.
Nothing else they want to get off their chest this week?
No, there's nothing coming up over the next couple of weeks. We'll have another birthday party in the next 3 weeks.
What are you doing for it?
Don't know yet. He won't tell us what he wants either.
The letter. How are you? How many people are getting invited from the class and all that stuff?
I don't know if we're going to be doing any of that. It's just a third birthday party.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was
Yeah. It's not the older guy.
right.
We never hooked Amber Springs in last week.
That's up to you guys. Right. That is our lot this week. We'll see you next week. If you want to get in touch with us, you can email dadcast@offthewall.com. You can also just follow us on Twitter @dadcastpod. Good luck.